everyone, and welcome to Enchanted Vibes Spiritual Readings and Wellness. I am Queen T, the creator of Enchanted Vibes and the co-owner of Vibin' High. In this video, I am going to briefly explain the benefits and basics of enchanting your herbs. So a little background, a little bit. Every herb and fruit, tree, creature, rock has a purpose. And everything holds energy and vibrates at a certain frequency. Herbs, fruit, and crystals all have very specific set of skills. And knowing what those skills are and using them in a way that complements your work can greatly enhance the power of your work. Most people already know about crystals and their magical abilities, so to speak. But a lot of people don't really know that the same is true of other parts of nature, particularly herbs, even fruit. Most people don't. They just don't know. And if they are not doing magical workings, they probably really wouldn't know. Most people know of health benefits, but they don't know of magical benefits. So those are, in fact, two different things. It's also worth noting that you could enchant anything. You don't have to be a priestess or a Hugan or a Manze. You don't have to be at the upper levels to enchant. However, like anyone can make protection jewelry and enchant it with a purpose of protection. However, certain items like elekes should not be made by just anyone who is not authorized to do so. Do not ever go into a store or look online and buy elekes or any type of item that is supposed to be done by a certain type of individual in a ceremony type situation. If you're buying that online, it's not real. Don't do that. There are processes. Don't do that. Now I will not be making like a long list of benefits or exact words to say, but I will give some examples and ideas. As with all workings, intentions matter, and prayer is the most important and powerful tool in any working that you're going to do. I do not consider myself Christian. I grew up that way, but I am not what people would consider a Christian. And I'm still very aware of the power of prayer. It is still very important. I pray many times a day. I actually have a regimen that I follow based on the guidance of my ancestors, and which includes praying at very specific times throughout the day. Praying is important in any spiritual practice. Don't let anyone tell you that because you are into African spirituality that means you just don't pray, because that's not true. We still believe in God and the Creator, and we pray more than some Christians, honestly. More than most Christians, honestly. But I digress. When doing any magical working, it is important to pray from your heart over the items to do what it is you are asking for. Pray before you start, pray during, pray after, just like you should be divining before, during, and after you should be praying. If you are not divining, please start discussing with your ancestors before you do magical workings. I'm just saying. Or at least the entities around you. You need the energy from somewhere. So please do that. Enchanting is a little bit more specific than a prayer, and it requires a little bit of research. I'm in a mentorship program, and we are given a lot of information. I am under an Ayanifa, and If you're interested in learning more about that, the link to the Facebook group and our community outreach program are going to be in this video. So check those out if you are interested in learning more. And we're a wonderful group of people. One of the many free resources that is given is, I actually printed this out at my job. Shh, don't tell. This was actually given to us, is the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. This is Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. And there's a few hundred pages. I have it down to 4 pages in one, but it lists, there's hundreds of herbs in here and their magical properties. This is a very important resource. So there are many others as well. So, but this one I got for free, so I use it. I use it every single time. I have a spreadsheet of all the herbs that I already have, and then when we do theoretical workings, or if there's something that I want to get for a certain purpose, I check this first, and then I purchase the herb based on the working that I'm doing. So, books are cool. Read books. There's valuable information in books. Although practice is the best way to learn something, there are a lot of books that are very helpful as resources. So that happens to be one of them. And this lists all the positive characteristics. So if you're doing left-handed work, you won't necessarily find the information you need in there, but that's what Google's for. Or another type of book. Just saying. If you aren't using herbs in your workings, you should be. I'll just do that. With any candle magic, anything, herbs are definitely going to help your progress. Some examples of herbs and their benefits. So violet, you can use for protection, luck, love, lust, wishes, peace, and healing. Lily, you can use for protection and breaking love spells. Echinacea is used to strengthen spells of all kinds. It's kind of like a universal herb, almost like rosemary. Rosemary is very universal herb. Echinacea strengthens any working that you're doing. You could use echinacea if you wanted to. Blackberry is for healing, money, and protection. Almond is for money, prosperity, and wisdom. Yes, almonds. Pomegranate is for divination, wealth, luck, wishes, and fertility. And garlic can be used for protection, healing, exorcism, lust, and anti-theft. So, while it would smell good, based on these characteristics, you could, you wouldn't want to put violet and lily in the same work if it is for the purpose of love, because lily would break a love spell. So you don't want to put something that breaks a love spell in a love spell, because that doesn't make sense. However, if you're doing protection work, you can absolutely put those two things together because they both have the purpose of protection. You just need to specify that when you are enchanting your herbs. And your ancestors will guide you. So again, consult your ancestors. Get the working approved before you even start. Before you even pour an herb, you write down your intentions for the working and you get it approved. Start there. And then if you don't know how to divine yet, which some people watching this, you won't know how. And that's understandable. So if you don't know how, at least make sure you are checking a resource that will tell you, like the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs or something like it, to make sure that you are using things that complement each other. Because of their powers, all the ingredients that I mentioned can actually be put into a working for prosperity. And when I actually wrote those down, I was just literally randomly flipping through the book. And when I looked at it after, I realized that that could be a prosperity spell. Now, even including the garlic. So you would only want to use a small amount, But that garlic could actually be enchanted for anti-theft, and it can assist in making sure that your prosperity is not stolen from you. So, if you were doing a prosperity working and you were using these particular ingredients, you could enchant them based on what their properties were. So if it was the protection property, you could enchant it to protect your wealth and your finances. If you were using the luck property, you can use it for luck in finding new ways to be prosperous, or luck in attaining prosperity. For peace, it would be peace to be able to focus on more important things than money because you will not lack it. Healing, to overcome the traits and habits within yourself that could cause you to lose or abuse your prosperity or not appreciate your prosperity. Wisdom, to use prosperity in ways that help you achieve your destiny or help others. Money, to attain the positive increase so that you may achieve the things you desire. For wealth, to maintain and grow your finances to make life enjoyable for you and further enhance the success of your bloodline. And then again, the garlic, the anti-theft, to prevent your prosperity from being stolen. So those are just examples of how you use that keyword and you pray into the herbs. And when you do this, you want to make sure first that you are very, very close. And you can enchant an herb for more than one purpose. Just make sure that you are specific. How much you use of the herb is based on your working. For candles, you only need a pinch, maybe a little less. Like, you really only need a little bit. I do have a video on my channel about the basics of a candle working, as far as the herb part of it and how much to add. I already have that video. Watch the video before you start picking out your herbs and putting them on a plate, because this is way too much for a candle. And this is not being used for a candle. I did already enchant these and got approval. And you want to make sure that you're using a white plate. If you do not have white, a clear glass plate. So you want to gather your herbs and place them, again, on a white or clear plate. And when you put them on the plate, do it in a clockwise motion. So start at the top and go clockwise. And you're going to blow tobacco on each herb to awaken its spirit. Cigars are best, but cigarettes will do in a pinch. I got this cigar for $2 and for $3. It's a very long cigar. And once you light it, take puffs. You're not inhaling, but then you're blowing the smoke like that. You're gonna do it 3 times and blow the smoke on the herb individually. And then you are going to pray over and enchant that herb with the purpose based on what that herb is. If you are wholeheartedly against putting that to your mouth, you can take the tobacco out and burn it in a vessel, like a fireproof vessel. The very first time I did this, I didn't have a cigar, but I had the guts of something else. And so I ripped it open, put it in here, and lit it on fire, and the smoke arose from that. And so I made sure to blow the smoke on the herbs in my hand and enchant it that way. So that is an alternative if you do not want to do that. Can you do it without tobacco? Yes. But tobacco does awaken the spirit, and it will help magnify your working. So I recommend that you do it. Do you absolutely have to? No, but it's worth it to do it. I do not do a single working without enchanting and awakening the spirit of my herbs with tobacco. Once you've blown smoke on the herb, ask it to do what you need that specific herb to do. Do each one individually. And once you are done with each one, again, go clockwise. Once you have done each one, divine to make sure you've done each one correctly. And when you talk, you want to make sure that you are talking directly into the herb, but don't talk too hard because they will blow. So be careful. But you want to speak directly into the herb that you are enchanting. Some people will keep it in their hand and enchant it into their hand and then put it in a vessel that they're using to mix them up, which is fine. I just like to do mine individually because I like to make sure that I enchanted one individually properly before I move forward. But as long as you check to make sure that the total working is fine before you move forward, then you're good too if you've already mixed them. But always check to make sure that you've done that first if you are divining. If you are told no, ask about them individually if you haven't already mixed them. I had to do a couple of these more than once for this particular working. I had to do them a couple times. So I prayed over it a couple times, and once I got permission, I was done. I also asked if they needed more tobacco, and none of them needed that, but I did have to pray over them a couple times. So you may not get it right the first time, and that's fine. Just make sure that you get clarification on that before you move forward. I had another working where I had to pray over it for like an hour because what I was saying wasn't matching my heart. And when I say that is, I was using the proper purpose, but why I wanted it to be that purpose wasn't in line with what my heart wanted. And so until I was dancing around it, I was trying to be politically correct. And the spirits that walk with me knew that that was not really what I wanted. And so until I was able to realize that and say exactly what I wanted, they would not let me continue with the work. And I don't go against divination. So if they say no, I'm not moving forward until I've done it to the point where they accept it. That's just me. Word of advice, you can't hide from spirit. And don't go against divination. Once you get the okay, you can actually mix them together. So for this, I'm going to use the black vessel because I want to crush these up because this is an incense. So once you get the okay, you can mix these things together. And if it is something, this is for an incense, if it is something that has big pieces, like the jasmine flower is kind of big pieces, I want that to be crushed as much. I want this to be like a powder almost when I make this incense. So I'm going to mix it up first, and then I'm going to put it in my little pestle, my mortar and pestle set that I got from a local shop. I wanted one that didn't have symbols and stuff on it because sometimes those symbols interfere with the work. So, and then I make sure that I clean this out properly before I use it every time. But mix them together well and then pray over them more until you feel like A, it's the consistency that you want, and B, that they've mixed. And when you're praying over them, you want to pray that they all use each other, and that they mix together well, and that they all work together to achieve the desired result of your working. So, I hope that this was helpful for those, especially for those that are new. Those of you that are old and be like, girl, whatever. But people that are new that have never done this, I hope this is helpful. As a note, I did intentionally not give specific words or passwords. And I know some people will watch this video wanting that. I'm not going to give that to you. Certain information is not for the general public, and you need to be trained by someone authorized to teach you that information. At this time, I'm not authorized to teach that information. And if you're watching this video, you're not authorized to receive that information. So keep that in mind as well. Certain traditions and protocols just must be honored and respected. And I'm not going to get in trouble with my Yanifa or the spirits that walk with me by giving away information that should not be given. So, if you were looking for that, I'm sorry, you're not going to get it. Not for me. Like I said, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want the consequences of that to fall on me and my workings. So, But that is something that you learn in mentorship. So I highly encourage you, if you are not being mentored by somebody, Arianifa has mentees all over the world. So like I said, the link to our mentorship program is going to be at the bottom of the video, and also the link to our Facebook group. If you're not quite ready for the community outreach program, although it is free, if you're not quite ready for that level of commitment yet, you can join our Facebook group and be part of the discussion, ask questions, and we will help guide you in the way that is necessary for you. And then if you have any questions, comments, please go ahead and put those at the bottom of this video, and I will respond to them. If you know me in real life, then obviously you can just ask me, and I will tell you what I am allowed to tell you. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me. Please make sure you like and subscribe. And I am going to be going live later on this week. This is January 19th, and this is a Wednesday. I will be going live on Saturday, on, I think that's the 22nd. Live on Saturday at 4 p.m. So if you are watching this video before then, you have an opportunity to see the live. It will be on generational curses. If you're watching this after, you can watch the live, which is not live, but you'll be able to see that video as well. It will be available on the channel once it is complete. Thank you.